This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
And just like that, the corporate bullshit is forgotten about. Anyways, how are you? As we are starting off this lovely week. Oh, yes, it's all important as how we start and definitely how we end the thing. But hopefully everything is good with you as we're just coming off the weekend. Anyways, today's Monday, February el Sexto. Yes, that would be the 6th, just in case. Day 37th of the year, and only 329 days left to go. So there you go. Hopefully, if you're thinking about the countdown, but it's not that big of a deal at the moment, because if it is a big deal, then we probably have some more problems than what we are normally willing to talk about. So that's some stuff. Anyway, so let's get into it a little bit. Let's talk a little bit. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and friends and, well, do you want to call them friends and family? Because that almost sounds like a phone ad. Our friends and colleagues. We'll go with colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Oh, yes, some infiltration and Radio Big has never hurt anyone, that's for sure. So there you go. We can go from there. So anyways, a lot of stuff happening over the weekend. A little balloon shoot down. We'll talk a little bit about that, of course, because, how are we not going to talk about that? Could you imagine us skipping that story? I think not. But, yeah, there you go. Some stuff there. What else do we got? Maybe what we should do is talk about what's on the trends and what's on the tap today. Maybe we should do that. Should we do it in that format? Yeah, I think that's the better format of doing it. So let's do it that way.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so taking a look at over the things over the weekend, we'll talk about the credible suspect that has admitted stealing the monkeys from the Dallas Zoo last week. Also trending over the weekend was Elon Musk off the hook for the latest trial, so we'll talk about that. More bizarre developments and question on Biden's family and their convoluted web of influence peddling, so we'll talk about that. Some see who won the actual last night's Grammy Awards, and Hulk Hogan puts his best foot forward. Yeah, I don't know about that. Squid Game, the challenge. Contestants have spoken out about their horrible treatment during the filming, so we'll talk about that. And a woman claiming to be the one who got in on the Prince Harry in a field behind a pub. Yeah, his first has come forward. Do we want to talk about that? I don't think we want to talk about that. But hey, it's on the list. It did make the list. So you just made the list. So that's stolen definitely from somebody else, as I do say that. So we'll talk, we'll focus, we'll move forward. We'll talk about everything going on because that's what we do. We bring in some professional broadcasters. Maybe I should talk about that. And they do their giggo. They talk about what the hell's going on because I am sure that they know what's happening as I sit around and go, what is happening? So they'll talk about everything that's going on inside of the world. If you want to interact with the show, it's a kind of a simple process in doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. They'll get everything moving and grooving for you on that particular portion. From there, you can text message, you can video chat, you can do video messages if you want to do it in that format. And then if you want to hang out in the different media sources that we have available, you can do that as well. Just keep in mind that if you talk to us via socials, I have a terrible habit of not checking them until the end. Yeah, I know. I've tried to get better at it, but I suck. Yeah, I suck terribly in regards of doing all of that stuff. So there you go. That's some stuff there. So anyways, with that being said, let's talk about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the news, because I think you're going to want that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. The 65th Annual Grammy Awards are in the books, and Harry Styles won big last night.
I don't think any of us sit in the studio making decisions based on what is going to get us one of these. I'm so grateful.
The singer snagged Album of the Year for Harry's House. Styles took home the biggest award of the evening in a stacked category, beating out Beyonce, Adele, Bad Bunny, Coldplay, ABBA, and more. He also won for Best Pop Vocal Album. Beyonce did, however, make history Sunday, becoming the artist with the most Grammy wins ever. She won 4 of the 9 categories for which she was nominated, bringing her total number of Grammy Awards to 32. One GOP congressman says that President Biden's decision to shoot down a Chinese surveillance balloon was like tackling the quarterback after the game is over.
The satellite had completed its mission. This should never have been allowed to enter the United States, and it never should have been allowed to complete its mission.
Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, Ohio Republican Mike Turner said the balloon had already gathered the data it needed as it drifted across the continental U.S. He said there was urgency to this situation that the Biden administration didn't seem to recognize. Turner added an event like this is something the military should have been prepared for. The death toll in Turkey and Syria is on the rise following a powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake. Over 500 deaths are now being reported after the quake that was centered in south-central Turkey and felt as far away as Lebanon and Israel. Multiple aftershocks have been reported in the wake of what the USGS says was one of the region's strongest earthquakes in over 100 years. Rescuers have been desperately scrambling to search for survivors, with more than 3,000 people already injured. And Super Bowl festivities begin today at the Footprint Center in downtown Phoenix. Hundreds of media members will interview players and coaches from the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. It is the only time the two teams will be together in one place prior to taking the field in Glendale for Super Bowl 57 on Sunday night. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Tokyo, I'm Chris Gilbert. Officials in Turkey are searching for survivors and assessing the damage after a magnitude 7.9 earthquake destroyed buildings in the country's south. China is condemning the United States for shooting down a suspected spycraft, which Beijing claims was a weather balloon. Ukraine is replacing its defense minister as it prepares for an offensive push by Russia this week. And Hong Kong's largest national security trial of pro-democracy activists is underway.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Economic advisor Gary Cohn says he doesn't expect a recession in the first half of 2023.
It does feel like we're in relatively good shape here. The question is going to be, how does the Federal Reserve handle what's going on in the economy?
Appearing on CBS Face the Nation, the current IBM vice chairman says there's evidence that record high inflation is starting to ease. He pointed to the addition of over 500,000 jobs in January, as well as the lowest unemployment rate the country has seen since 1969 at 3.4%. President Biden is huddling with top advisors ahead of Tuesday's State of the Union address. Biden flew to Camp David on Saturday, where he's expected to discuss efforts to raise the debt ceiling, Russia's war in Ukraine, and the 2024 presidential race, among other issues. Relations with China are also likely to be on the agenda after he ordered the military to shoot down a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon off the coast of South Carolina. Biden's primetime speech will take him face-to-face for the first time with the Republican House majority. Former Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf has passed away at the age of 79. We get more from Scott Carr.
Reports say tributes and messages of condolences have poured in from Pakistani politicians. Musharraf died at Dubai American Hospital after a prolonged illness. He lived in self-imposed exile in Dubai after seizing power in a 1999 coup, surviving 2 failed assassination attempts and running the Pakistani government until stepping down in 2008 when steps to impeach him started. Musharraf was sentenced to death in Pakistan in absentia for high treason in 2019. That ruling was later overturned. I'm Scott Carr.
And a man is in custody for allegedly bringing a gun into a San Francisco synagogue and firing blanks. Police arrested Dimitri Mission Friday night after searching his residence. Mission is accused of firing several blank rounds at the Shearson Jewish Center in San Francisco's Outer Richmond neighborhood Wednesday night. A synagogue official is calling Mission's alleged actions a terrorist attack, but police have not yet said if they've determined a motive. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Radio. USA, Canada, UK.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. I know about courage. I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Oh, yes, some self-imploding does not sound terrible, or does it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of both things. Who the hell knows around here what is going on? Anyways, we're back. It's 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on something that was almost as marvelous. It sounds like a Monday. Yeah, you can have a good time on a Monday, believe it or not. A lot of people have a hard time believing that. It's like, it's the start of the week. I mean, believe me, I think that, you can do a lot of stuffo, depending on how your attitude is towards it. And I mean, I'm going to tell you, if you think it's going to suck, well, then you're probably right. It's going to suck. If you think it's going to be great, well, then it's probably going to be great. It just all depends on how you take a look-see at it. That is for sure, as we are going on. Anyway, so let's start talking about some things that are going on inside of the world of the shit list, because that's what we do. So Elon Musk has been found not liable in a suit about whether his tweets in 2018 about the Tesla private ran afoul of security laws. Musk tweeted that he had secured investors for funding to take Tesla private, pending the shareholder vote, but the deal never materialized. A-class action suit argued that Musk promised to cause harm because his tweets encouraged them to sell off their shares. I don't know if it really did say that, because what you're looking at now is that he gave the idea that he could do it. Didn't mean that it was actually going on. Meanwhile, Musk also says that he regrets settling with the Securities and Exchange Commission over the same tweet. He said that he caved into the pressure and paid $20 million in order to move on, as that this jury trial helped him clear the record. So there you go, some stuff there. So I don't know. I don't know. Did he do the right thing, do the wrong thing? I think it's going to be, like always, the court of public opinion. Meanwhile, at Twitter headquarters, one of Musk's first big changes at Twitter was also to diversify the blue check mark that denoted official verified accounts. Now elected officials have a gray check. Celebrities and people who pay for the Twitter blue get a blue check, and brands and organizations have a gold check. So check is what it sounds like. But wait, to keep that gold check, organizations will have to shell out $1,000 a month. That will also pay for another $50 a month for the associates and other accounts with the organization. For example, the New York Times, where to pay $1,000 a month, the journalists who write the Times could get a little badge on their profile to indicate that they're employees of the newspaper. What a cluster. I mean, do I need to really have a symbol? Let me brand you, is what it sounds like. I mean, I don't know. Is this blue check, gold check, gray check so important to you? I mean, I'm just asking the question. I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter. Like, when you started getting into these tiers and verified pricing and all that, and listen, I understand you're trying to make money off of this thing. It doesn't bother me about that, but this is just getting weird about check. And can I have a triple check if I fall into a category?
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, Iran and Russia are partnering to build a factory in Moscow that would build drones for use of Russia's invasion of Ukraine using Iranian technology. Russia has been heavily relying on Iranian drones since it began the invasion. In return, Russia has been training Iranian pilots to fly their jet fighters, and will trade those plans to Iran at the end of the year. So there you go, some stuff there. Some partnerships on things that you never expect to occur, but hey, it did, and there you go. What else? What else do we see? Dallas police have arrested a 24-year-old suspect connected to the theft of 2 monkeys from the Dallas Zoo. The man, Devian Irin. Yes, Devian Irin. Yep, there you go. Faces animal cruelty and burglary, I can't even speak, charges as he has picked up after when he was spotted security cameras at the zoo on Thursday, appearing to check the mesh enclosures as to prepare for another heist. During questioning, he reportedly admitted to have stolen the monkeys and asked authorities questions about the clouded leopard that had gone missing from the habitat after the enclosure was cut in January. What the hell are you doing with all these animals? I mean, that's my question. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with the animals, and what are people thinking, and all that fun stuff? Because I think that's going to be a big question. That's going to be a big question in the seg. It'll be a big question in the segment of what is going on. What do you think about this whole thing? I mean, it kind of makes you wonder about some stuff in life. It's like, what are you doing with these animals that you said, hey, it makes sense to me to try to steal them? I don't know. People do weird things. And I'm not picking here. I'm just talking. I'm just talking about, strange things do happen out there in regards to the stuff that people do. I'm not blaming anybody for doing, not doing, wanting to do, and everything along those lines. You do you. I just think some things are weird. Anyways, there a real-life Call of the Wild situation happening in Nevada where all-white dogs have been spotted living with coyotes pack in the recent months. The local Fox affiliate reports the dog has not only fully integrated with the pack, but appears to lead it. But wait, after the locals spotted the dog, nicknamed Ghost, limping in the hatch planned trapped in a crate, which she pulled off last week. Ghost remains happy as it can be. However, despite having multiple infections, a broken toe, and some rocks in her belly. So there you go. There's your dog story for today. What else do we have? Ahead of Super Bowl Sunday, more Americans than ever are leaning towards plant-based chicken wings. Okay, good for them. A report by the animal rights group Comparison in World Farming suggests that 10 million Americans will eat an estimated 160 million plant-based wings on Sunday. That's about 1/10 of the 1.4 billion wings typically consumed on the big day. Vegan wings are typically made from frying wheat protein and dousing them in sauce. That does not sound very appealing. I mean, hey, if you're doing something that you think is better for you, you do that. I mean, I'm not picking here. I'm just saying that I just don't think it sounds appealing, but that's my opinion. I mean, what the hell what does it matter what my opinion is? I guess I'm opinionated to an extent. Anyways, let's talk about some weekend box office stuff because that always seems important to do. Over the weekend at the number 10 spot inside of the movies, Python with $2.7 million. And number 9 was The Chosen Season 3, Episode 1 and 2. This made it to the movies. $3.6 million. And number 8, Missing with $3.7 million. Number 7 was Megan with $3.8 million. Number 6, A Man Called Otto, $4.1 million. And number 5, BTS, yet to come in the cinemas, $6.3 million. Number 4 was Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, $7.9 million. And number 3, Avatar, The Way of the Water, came in at $10.8 million. And then number 2, 80 for Brady. I mean, Brady retired on the same week the movie came out. I don't know if that was a plan. $12.5 million. And at the number 1 spot, Knock at the Cabin, $14.2 million. Last 2 movies were brand new películas. Yeah, brand new películas to hit the scene of the things that are going on. Anyways, currently 23 minutes past the top of the hour. Good time to bring in some John Small and let him tell you about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the market.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, February 6th, 2023. Friday's market action is a classic example of when good news is really bad news for the stocks. The January non-farm payroll report showed a gain of more than 500,000 new jobs despite ongoing layoffs in the tech sector. This on top of upward revisions to the already strong figures in the previous 2 months and drove another big wage increase. Wages jumped 21 cents from last month's reported figure for more than 4% year-over-year gain. This is down from the peak, but well within range set over the last 2 years. With the NFP as strong as it is, it doesn't look like wage inflation is going anywhere but sideways anytime soon. The market will get a reprieve from economic data this week, but the earnings onslaught continues. Another 100-plus S&P 500 earnings reports are expected, and they're sure to confirm what we already know. The Q4 earnings season is worse than expected, and the outlook for 2023 is falling fast. At the current pace, the consensus estimate for 2023's S&P 500 earnings growth will hit the negative territory by the end of this reporting season, which is not a catalyst for higher prices. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for the información. Always a good time as you are telling us what exactly is going on inside of the worldo. Yeah, I did say worldo. No, I'm not confused on what I said. So let's talk about what I found on my side of the equation. It goes something like this. The Dow lost about 129 points on Friday to close at 33,926. The S&P lost about, 43 points to close at 4,136. The NASDAQ lost 193 points to close at 12,006. West Texas Intermediate fell to $73 a barrel as Brent crude closed at 79. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.47 on Sunday. Bitcoin slid over the weekend, trading just over $23,000. And there was 3,070 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Sunday, and about 107 cancellations. Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $31 million jackpot or a $16.6 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you should do so. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $747 million jackpot or a $403 million cash payout. So there you go. So do we want to talk about what happened last night? What happened at the good old Grammys? Trevor Noah returned for the third year in a row to host the last night's 65th annual Grammy Awards live from Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. Let's see, actress Viola Davis has reached the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony status for her Grammy win for the audiobook memoir Finding Me. Only 18 people have reached that milestone. Record-breaking with multiple wins last night. Beyonce broke the record, conductor Greg Solti's record of 31 Grammys to become the artist with the most Grammy wins. So there you go. That happened all last night. I guess let me give you some highlights. Overall, record of the year was Lizzo, About Damn Time. Album of the year was Harry Styles with Harry's House. Song of the year was Bonnie Raitt with Just Like That. New artist was Samara Joe. Video was Taylor Swift, All Too Well, the short film. So there you go. Trying to look around if there's anything else that sticks out right there. Let's see. Album of the year under the rock category was Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9, and Brandy Carly, Performance of the year was Broken Horses, just so you know. Also, she got Song of the year. What else? R&B of the year. Album of the year was Robert Glasper with Black Radio 3. So there you go. I'm sure you can find more of that stuff if you're out there looking, because I'm sure it's everywhere. Let's get into some other news because, it's always important to talk about all the things that are going on. Take a listen to this. This one's coming out of California. Today, the Huntington Park Police Department is planning to release footage connected to a controversial officer involved in a shooting that left a double amputee dead. On Sunday, activists and family members of the 36-year-old Anthony Lowe protested outside of Huntington Park Police Department headquarters. Take a listen.
Hold these cops accountable, and we want to hold Huntington Park accountable as well.
Lowe, a black man, was killed by officers on January 26th. Investigators say that he had stabbed a man with a large butcher knife and was threatened to officers with that knife. Washington Police Department says the video will be released today, shows a stabbing that prompted officers to go after Lowe. Family members are demanding criminal charges be filed against the officers. Of course, we're going to have to get more information. There is no doubt about it, because that's the way that those things work. Take a listen to this. The New York State Attorney General's office is investigating a case of an elderly woman who thought to be dead, who was later found to be alive while at a funeral home. Yeah, this gets weird.
An 82-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the Water's Edge Rehab and Nursing Center in Port Jefferson around 11:30 in the morning and was transported to O.B. Davis Funeral Home in Miller Place around 1:30 in the afternoon. Just over a half hour later, it was discovered the woman was still breathing. The woman has since been taken to a local hospital as officials try to figure out how this happened. Jonathan O'Halloran, NBC News Radio, New York.
Exactly how does that happen? I mean, think about that. Oh, she's dead. She's not dead. I mean, glad she's not dead, but man, that got weird quick when you really start giving it some thoughtsy-aughtsies there. Anyways, the death toll in Turkey and Syria is on the rise following the powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake. Mark Mayfield reports.
Over 600 are now reported to have been killed after the quake that was centered in south-central Turkey and felt as far away as Lebanon and Israel. Multiple aftershocks have rocked the region and numerous buildings have been destroyed. Rescuers have been desperately scrambling to search for survivors, with thousands of people already known to have been injured. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for that information right there, because that makes it interesting for sure. Take a listen to this. This is coming out of good old Grand Rapids, Michigan, as we are talking. It goes something along this lines. A major project in Grand Rapids is revitalizing the Grand River. Community partners are working to lay down the foundation when it comes to equity before any progress is made. Senior Grant Jordan, organizer of Black Voices at the River, is encouraging people to come and hear the summary of those ideas shared with the public this week.
And we would like people to come and see what's the vision is, see what's missing, share your voice, share your ideas.
Black Voices at the River was created to make sure the Black community shared their vision for the huge investment opportunity. The group Grand River Voices and other partners will present the Grand River Equity Framework on Wednesday from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Grand Rapids Public Museum. It's a document for guiding the future program policies and plans so that the variety of voices are included in the project. City and county leaders are expected to attend, while local colleges construct companies that will offer training sessions on trade education and community and workforce development. Senior Gant Jordan, an organizer of Black Voices at the River, says that the person, race, and income level shouldn't exclude them from sharing their ideas.
Get involved and be able to come make a generational transition to create legacy on the river, job opportunities, development, ownership.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there as you hear it. Will you let your voice be heard? That's always the question that people tend to ask. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past top of the hour. Let's talk about this because I think, so that way I know, or maybe I do know, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it's time for the main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So I want you to not really answer this question out loud, but I want you to kind of think about this for a moment. And the question that I want to start off by asking is, how old are you? Now, that's an answer to yourself because everybody that's probably answering this question is going to have a different answer. So, how old are you? And as you look at your life overhaul, are you considered to be at the midpoint? Are you at far beyond reach? Are you exactly where you thought you would be right around this time? I mean, age demographic-wise, have you accomplished the things that you were trying to accomplish? Another answer that you can only answer to yourself because I will have no answer for you. Now, I don't know what age you are. I don't know what you've accomplished, and that's kind of the great thing as we're having this conversation. But I want you to know that there are people that are out there, and I'm not saying it's a good or it's a bad thing. And this changes and varies age to age is the way that people tend to take a look at this, that they are already concerned, regardless of the number that you said at the very beginning, of quote unquote their legacy. Yes, what they do for work, what they do in their life of a legacy. Now listen, don't get me wrong. I understand having aspirations of doing something that is bigger than you, of doing something that will help the world. But do you really sort that down to legacy? Is that really the commentary? Because what does that mean to you? When you hear the word legacy, what comes to mind? Is there a person that comes to mind? Is there a legacy that someone has left? Is there a work industry that has a legacy? I mean, I think immediately of an album from the Misfits called The Legacy of Brutality. That's what comes to mind when somebody's talking to me in my circle about legacy. That's what I start thinking about. But as I look around and I talk about this, are you building a legacy with your work? Some people have told me that the most important legacy that they'll ever leave is the legacy with their family. And as you start having the legacy conversation, it kind of gets kind of weird. And I don't mean that in a bad way, like weird, but I mean it gets weird because what are you trying to accomplish with it? Because sometimes I think that when we start getting so hung up on legacy of what we're leaving behind at the time of our passing, and it be the focus of the work, is really the focus of the work that you're doing the work, or is it what you're leaving behind? Because you are aware that leaving a legacy does not necessarily make you rich with prosperity when it comes related to money. It's not like you're going to be prosperous. You can be prosperous and not have anything. And that's the thing that I sometimes think that people tend to forget. And, people want to tie in this, I'm building the legacy for my tribe and all this. I don't think I've ever claimed ownership on people that I hang with or people that take a listen to this. If you listen to the show, that's great. I appreciate it. But you're not my listeners. I mean, we're kind of a group of people that hang out together and do some stuff. You throw some ideas this way. I throw some ideas your way. And we kind of get together and do some stuff from time to time. But this whole legacy thing has thrown me for a loop. And I guess that a big part of it is that people are talking about legacy. You had a pretty big sports star last week retire. But when you start looking at it, yeah, he has a legacy of what he did on the field. There is no doubt about it. But when it comes to our work, the work that we do, what do you look at would be your legacy? And does your legacy as you as an individual supersede what you're trying to accomplish with the work that we do? Maybe that's the question to ask. And maybe that will be the biggest legacy of all, is how you had an impact on what you were trying for other people to understand.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/one. That's safetyfm.com/one. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Minutes past the top of the hour. This still is the Rated R Safety Show. Yep, we're doing the things that we get to do over here. Hanging out, doing the thing, doing the move, doing the groove. Yep, a little hanging out today. As we're sitting back and taking a listen to the muse. This one right here is by Gabriella Grace with the Hollywood Rodeo. I'd like to thank Gabriella for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Songs readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Give it a little download, little stream action. And people go, why do you say download? That way you can play it when you're not online. Yes, I know those things do happen from time to time. So anyways, let's get back into it. Let's get into this Rated R safety show of ours on Safety FM and Radio Big. You know, I'm still kind of amazed that, the lovely people at iHeartRadio let us kind of hang out over there and do our thing. Because I know that, the stuff that we do is probably not within their normal realm of stuff, but streaming on iHeartRadio has really changed some of the stuff that we do here. And I normally don't go very brand specific on a lot of stuff, but it has. It has. It lets us hang out and do some things. So if you're not familiar with that side of the house, that Radio Big station of ours, we do stream 24/7 over there. And it's on iHeartRadio. I mean, so you already have the app. And if you're on Apple, all you have to say is play Radio Big, and it will do it. I mean, sometimes it does get confused with little Biggie Small stuff, but hey, that happens. Those things do occur. That's not the worst thing in life that's going on. Anyways, let's talk about the most important thing that I'm going to ever tell you in my lifetime, and let's talk about it ahora. Ahora. So let's talk about my friends at 988 Suicides and Life. I can't even speak. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They can help you prevent suicide. Yep. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you and your loved one, and best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. Text the word TALK to 988, or here's the other option that you have. You can call 988. So you have three different options of things that you can do, kind of really getting into the whole thing however you want to do it. So think about it in that fashion as we are talking, because all of these things are important. Listen, the most important part in our life is ourselves. Yeah, let's think about it to an extent, because we can't help others. We can't do things with others if we're not here. And sometimes life isn't easy. I get it. So that's why I tell you about my friends at 988 Suicides and Crisis Lifeline. Go to the website and find out more information. I'm telling you, it will change the way that you look at things. Before I get too far into it, I haven't mentioned it today, so let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. Let's talk about the event going on in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, Santa Fe, New Mexico, still going on. Right now we are at a month away. In a month's time, we will be hanging out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, doing the Safety Differently workshop. Some tickets are still available, just a little FYI there. Some categories are gonzo, but you can still come out and hang out with us. These things will be hosted by Todd Conklin, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, and Mark Yeston, and I will be there, of course, doing the things that I get to do. So if you want to come and hang out, would love to see you there. All you have to do is go to safetyfm.io to find out more information. That's safetyfm.io to find out. Come hang out and do that thing that we do. There is no doubt about it, as we can hang and bang and do all the fun stuff. So there you go. Some things to think about for sure. Anyways, let's talk about this real quick. Let's shoot some bull. It took him over a year, but the British man who became the first ever to recreate Forrest Gump's fictitious run across America from 1994, did his full Forrest costume, has written a book, and it tells how in 2016 the 38-year-old, the same age of Tom Hanks when he portrayed Gump as the character, began his journey, which take him through the 43 states over 422 days, and he crisscrossed the country 4 times, covering a total of 15,621 miles, and he also went through 33 pairs of running shoes. The experienced marathoner encountered blistering heat, torrential rain, and relentless snowfall, raising money for 2 charities along the way. He worked the Boston Marathon into his itinerary, came across a moose, bears, dolphins, suffered a torn quadricep muscle, and at one point paused his run to fly home for the birth of his daughter, squeezing in 3 marathons while home. When he finished his Forrest Gump run in Utah. His fiance and baby's daughter were there to greet him. That's when Pope, wearing Bubba Gump shrimp hat, dropped to one knee and partially tiredness, but mostly out of tradition, asked Nadine to marry him. His book, Becoming Forrest, one of the man's epic run across America, is out now. So there you go. If you want to go ahead and take a look at that. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. 422 days. It's been a hard end to the story without the Forrest Gump quote. Let's go with life is like a box of chocolates. Wait, no, that one's not. How about stupid is, stupid does? I mean, I don't know. There's so many different things to talk about it. And he's praying like that Tom Hanks doesn't decide to make a sequel. So there you go. That could be that'd be kind of weird. Get a little weirdy there. That is for sure. Anyway, so let's talk real quick. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me over there. You can find us on the iHeart Radio app if you want to do that, or you can actually just go to radiobig.fm. We do have multiple ways of getting over there. If you want to hang out on Safety FM, you can do that as well, as Shelton Primus will be coming in and doing the Safety Consultant Show as he does the things that he does over there. But before we get into all that stuff, I think we need some motivation in our life. So let's get motivated. Let's bring some John Smalls in here.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Matt. Zig Ziglar said, "A goal properly set is halfway reached." I love that quote. Think about it. If you don't know what the goal is, how do you have any chance to hit it? So I encourage you to first figure out what you want to achieve, then set a goal. Once you have a goal in mind, you can build a plan to hit that goal. Make sure to set up mini goals along the way. That'll make it a whole lot more achievable. If you have a weekly, monthly, and annual goal, you'll be able to know right away if you're on track or if you need help to get back on track. It's really important. You don't want to wait till the very end of the year to find out you're off track. Tracking is super important. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. High blood pressure or hypertension is extremely widespread. Almost half of the adults in the U.S. currently have this condition, with about 20% of young adults ages 18 to 39 having hypertension. Unfortunately, this condition negatively affects the brain and increases dementia risk, so it's important to prevent it at any age. In addition to exercise, using sauna or hot baths are some of the best lifestyle interventions to improve blood pressure. Even a single 25-minute sauna session significantly lowers blood pressure compared to baseline. However, this is not the case for infrared saunas, which are becoming more and more popular. Infrared saunas did not mimic moderate cardiovascular exercise, whereas traditional saunas did. For more information on wellness, check out AlessaMorgan.com.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large Gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench?
Radio.
There you go, 52 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this fantastic Monday, because it is fantastic. That's the way that it goes from time to time. Anyways, let's get into some other news before we get you the heck out of here. So let's talk real quick about some things that are going out inside of the world. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Brave soul today. Take a listen.
Congressman says that President Biden's decision to shoot down a Chinese surveillance balloon was like tackling the quarterback after the game is over.
The satellite had completed its mission. This should never have been allowed to enter the United States, and it never should have been allowed to complete its mission.
Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, Ohio Republican Mike Turner said the balloon had already gathered the data it needed as it drifted across the continental U.S. He said there was urgency to this situation that the Biden administration didn't seem to recognize. Turner added an event like this was something the military should have been prepared for. And former President Trump is calling the Chinese balloon situation a disgrace. In a post on his Truth Social site, Trump compared it to what he called the Afghanistan horror show and everything else surrounding the grossly incompetent Biden administration. Trump went on to say that China had too much respect for him for it to have happened when he was in office. Trump also dismissed reports that Chinese surveillance balloons flew over the U.S. 3 times while he was president as fake disinformation. That's politics. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for sharing the information on what's going on in politics. Yes, we had to get a little brave and talk about some of that stuff as we are moving on and talking about some things. Anyways, let's take a look real quick about some things that happened back on this date. If I'm taking a look around, let's go to the year 2014. Jay Leno ends his time on The Tonight Show for good this time. He will give up the hosting duties in 2009 when Conan O'Brien took over, but only for less than 8 months before Leno took the show back for another 4-year stint. This time, Jimmy Fallon took over the hosting duties and moved the talk show from California to New York. So there you go. That happened all the way back in 2014. Boy, was that a lot of drama back in the time, if you do remember everything that was going on back in the day then. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays that are going on real quick. Charlie Hinton turns 29. Dominic Sherwood turns 33. Allison Holker, 35. Dane DeHaan turns 37. Crystal Reed, 38. Chris Humphreys, 38. Amy Robosh turns 50. Brian Stefanik turns 52. Rick Astley, yes, the guy that's going to rickroll you. He turns 57 today. And Axl Rose, yes, from Guns N' Roses fame, he turns 61. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, let's talk about some of those because there's always some to do. It's National Chopstick Day, National Sicky Day. Yeah, Sicky. Yeah, how about you call in Sicky today? National Frozen Yogurt Day and National Lame Duck Day. So there you go. I guess that's when they start talking about the lame duck sessions. Maybe that's something to think about. Can I do this real quick? Do I have enough time? Okay, we're going to do this one real quick because we haven't done one of these in a while. Let's do some tech roundup. Take a listen.
CEO Sundar Pichai told investors last week that it's planning to roll out its Lambda language model with search components very soon, suggesting pressure from Microsoft-backed ChatGPT. The company also said it's restructuring its artificial intelligence subsidiary DeepMind into Google. The AI talk came as the company reported its fourth consecutive quarter in which earnings and revenue fell shy of analysts' estimates. Numbers out on Friday showed Apple's overall fourth quarter sales were about 5% lower than last year's number. That represents the company's first year-over-year sales decline since 2019 and the largest since 2016. CEO Tim Cook said 3 factors hurt the results: a strong dollar, production issues in China affecting the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max, and the overall macroeconomic environment. And Elon Musk found not liable for costing investors millions when he made claims about privatizing his electric vehicles. On Friday, a California jury ruled that Musk was not liable for investors losing money. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for the information right there, because that is important for us to discuss. Let's talk about some other things before we get you out of here real quick. If you need a random joke for today, I am pretty sure I can come up with one for you, and it sounds something like this. One surefire way to keep your home safe while on holiday is go away at the same time as your slightly more wealthy neighbors. That's one way to look at it. What else? What else do we have around here? If you need a phone starter for today, try this. Snack Food Month. In a survey, 90% of people respondents admitted that they are snackers. What's the most unusual snack you've ever seen someone, snack on? Boy, there's a lot of weird answers that come to mind when I started thinking about that one. If you need something for the water cooler, try this question. A survey found that couples do this for a total of 4 hours during January, more than any other month. What is it? The answer here says argue, and I wonder if the answer is argue because they've received the bills from all their credit cards from over the holiday season. That just means that you had unspectacular planning, but that's a whole other story. So there you go. That's going to sum up our time together. I do really appreciate it, us hanging out. Like I said, if you want to, Safety FM, you can hang right here. Take a listen to Sheldon Primus. Go over with me to radiobig.fm. Those are some options that are available for you. Thank you for hanging out. Really do appreciate the time. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, we couldn't do what we do around here. That is for sure. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Most is lost when indecision, then wrong decision. Think about it. Most is lost with indecision, then wrong decision. Think about it that way. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.